Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, RVCCIS.info, where faculty representatives from Rock Valley College's Computers and Information Systems Department talks to you, our community, rather, at large. All of us are in the we are in need of coffee sections of our afternoons. And we'll talk to you ineffectually about things roughly having to do with computer science. Howdy, everybody. Joining me today, as always, are Jim and Stephanie, myself, Eric, and we are most of the faculty here at Rock Valley College. Today, we thought we would get into the weeds a little bit. As it turns out, our favorite HTML editor for something like our CIS 102 classes here at Rock Valley College, Brackets, is going away.
Well, it's just not going to be supported, right? After September?
Yeah, but that's essentially the same thing.
Damn, I know, it's nice.
Yeah, so in the long history of software that we developers can use to develop our software, or integrated developers environments, I have really liked Brackets for web development. Like, of all the ones I've tried, which is a lot, Brackets stands out for being the most well designed, the most rather well thought out. And for web, especially all these web courses we have, or courses that do web things, it's been really fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice that it has the button that you can see it in browser.
I mean, that's the big thing. It's called Live Preview. It is the best thing ever. Now, there are other live server components that exist in other IDEs, but really it was the nicest one, built right into Brackets. So long as you had Chrome, you would get a separate running instance of Chrome that was all sandbox local, that you could test in real time. Now, again, that's not totally groundbreaking, but the integration was nice. You could test in real time what you were typing in the editor.
Which is, yeah, that is so nice. I remember trying to debug HTML code sometimes without Brackets, and it was horrible.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and like in years past, again, as part of our CIS 102, but also as part of our web courses, and certainly in the greater universe of web development, you'd had to use like Notepad or Notepad++. And I would rather, put this through my eye hole than I would use one of those to do any real development, because you're fighting the editor instead of fighting your own mistakes in the code.
Yeah, and I know Jenny Kunkel, who's one of our adjunct instructors, she likes Visual Studio Code, I believe, is what she likes. And I haven't tried that one yet.
Visual Studio Code is actually what Brackets suggests that you use. And it's okay. It is built in very much the same way. So they're both really just big JavaScript programs. So they're really lightweight. But Visual Studio Code is meant for like everything in the coding universe. So like JavaScript, that's where you would go, or C++, or you name it.
C#, or
and so C# and Java are where Jenny Kunkel is going to have that real connection to Visual Studio Code, because that's what we were using those for. But it wasn't an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript first developer like Brackets was.
Yeah. So have you used Atom? Either of you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jim, go for it. You had
glowed about Atom. I liked it. I mean, I was learning it on the fly, and I didn't use it as much as I should have. So then I just went back to Brackets instead. But a lot of, like a lot of textbooks and a lot of online, they really like Atom and they really push it.
So I saw that Atom has where you can basically install a plugin that says view in browser, and I haven't.
Live Server. So the plugin's called Live Server, and it's actually part of their default not default, but I mean like the recommended
Yeah.
plugin list.
Okay.
So Atom was made for GitHub specifically.
Yes.
And it was made by GitHub before GitHub was bought by Microsoft, who suspiciously enough makes Visual Studio Code. So probably Atom is going to be at the end of its life here very, very soon as more of that development goes towards Visual Studio Code. And Atom is probably the best like JavaScript developer I'd ever used, or editor rather, I had ever used. But it's not as, I don't know, the layout was not as well thought out. Brackets is made by Adobe, or was made by Adobe engineers. So like they have always been at the core of like how design should be. So I just think it was designed really well. And GitHub, on the other hand, is like, get it done fast so we can iterate on the next version. And everything is like boom, boom, boom. And you can kind of see that in Atom's design, I think.
Yeah. So really there's not going to be anything that's great for web design or HTML.
Well, I don't know. So the long arc of this particular episode is going to be you in our CIS 102 and you in our Web 101 courses hearing about this and getting that immediate sad face about, well, we just said nothing is going to be as good as brackets, and maybe for the time being, that's true. However, what I will mention is as follows. Number one, via brackets.io, which is where you would, in the past, download brackets. It would be right there on the homepage and you could download it. Now all they've done is they've obscured it down, and on the right-hand side, you just have to go grab either the brackets MSI or the brackets DMG for Mac or for Windows. So they're still there. We will actually continue to use brackets potentially a little bit through September, when the official end of life is. And you can keep using it beyond, because it's, there's no more development on the platform. Doesn't mean that what's already developed is like massively more than we would need for most of the development that we would be doing. So you don't despair. Even though it's already dead, it's going to live for an awfully long time. Also, especially if you have a Windows PC, the install for Visual Studio Code and the HTML developers toolkit there is pretty simple. So that's actually something, if you look through your course materials, so like modules, here for us in Eagle, you'll actually see support there for both brackets and Visual Studio Code. And you can, at least for the foreseeable future, kind of take your pick between which one of the two of those you want. So there you have it, down into the weeds with an IDE here today on RVCCIS info. You can leave us a comment down below on your favorite text editor. Are you one of our troglodytes who enjoys Notepad++? In which case, I already know you're going to respond in all caps, so you'll be easy to find. You can leave those below in the comments. While you're down there, you can also like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future content as it becomes available. And you can also follow us on social media. We are at RVCCIS info on Twitter, on Facebook, here on YouTube, and also on anchor.fm. So on behalf of Stephanie and Jim, myself, Eric, and the rest of the Rock Valley College community, stay safe and stay sane out there, everybody. And maybe find a new text editor.
Maybe.